Harrison 2 weeks ago. What's it been like, and how are you feeling now?
It's been I've been here for 7
Hi, my name's Edgar Landa and I'm a fight director. In today's short video, we're going to take a look at what we as fight directors do and how we go about the business of creating violence for the stage. So what does a fight director do? A fight director, very simply, choreographs, like a dance, the fights and violence that happens in the play between two or more characters when they run out of words or language doesn't suffice to achieve their objective. And that includes anything from a push, a shove, a throw, a sword fight, gunshots, anything that involves some sort of physical interaction with the actors that they need to repeat every night, time after time in a safe and effective manner. That's where we come in as the fight directors. So, in order to demonstrate how we go about creating the illusion of violence, in today's video, I'm going to demonstrate how we execute a roundhouse punch so that the actors don't actually hit each other and we can hide the technique from the audience. Now, please work slowly and carefully if you're following along so you don't hurt each other. We want to make sure that you can repeat this time and time and time again, just like the actors have to repeat it every night without hurting themselves. The roundhouse punch, otherwise known as the haymaker or the cowboy punch, is a great technique because it incorporates many of the principles that we use in other stage combat skill sets and techniques. In order to begin, I'm going to create my posture first, my stance. So I'm going to be punching with my right hand. So my left foot is going to be forward. And I'm placing my feet sort of like on railroad tracks rather than a tightrope. Right? So my feet are on railroad tracks parallel to each other. My left foot is forward. And I'm going to send this punch with the right hand. Now the first thing I do with my partner is we're going to create a measure, or the distance, the safe distance between us, so that when I throw this punch, it's not actually going to hit my partner. In this case, we're going to use 2 arms distance. So I put out my arm, the one that I'm punching with, and my partner is going to put out their arm opposite, right? Once we establish that 2 arms distance, we're not going to move that. We're going to maintain that distance. Great. And make sure that I'm relaxed, because basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a hip rotation around my waist as I send this punch. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make eye contact with my partner. This lets my partner know that I'm ready to throw the punch. They're going to give me eye contact back so I know they're ready to receive the punch. This is really important to get that eye contact. It really creates a connection between the 2 actors and lets them know that they're ready to execute the moves. So once again, I get into my ready position. I get eye contact. I'm breathing, so I'm relaxed. I'm not tensing up my muscles. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show my partner the punch. I'm going to show the audience a punch. Here it comes, right? We want to make sure that the audience sees the story. If they can't see the story, then we haven't done our job. So again, we're creating the illusion of violence. We're not going fast. If we go too fast, if we go at reality speed, the audience actually won't be able to see the story of the violence. So we slow it down just a little bit and we give them a lot of shows. There's the first one. The audience sees a punch, my partner sees a punch. I'm then going to send this punch and trace it basically across the bridge of my partner's nose. There's the show. I wind up, I send the punch across the bridge of their nose. And I'm doing that by doing hip rotation, which is no different than doing this kind of arm swing, except I'm making a fist as I do that. The other thing I want to say about my fist is I'm not clenching it. I'm not clenching it. I'm making it so tight that I'm muscling through this punch. My fist is actually fairly relaxed, as if I'm holding a roll of dimes loosely in my fist. That way it prevents all that tension. So once again, I'm in parallel feet. My left foot is slightly forward. I'm punching with my right hand. I make eye contact with my partner after we've established measure or distance. I show the punch. I send the punch, tracking it across the bridge of their nose parallel to the floor. And that's pretty much how I do my part of the punch. Once I'm done, I come back to my ready position. Now my partner is doing something different to receive the punch. My partner is getting ready, and in this case, when we're first learning the punch, I have the receiver stand with their feet in neutral position, feet parallel to each other. Nice and relaxed. What they're going to do is they're going to execute a nap, K-N-A-P. They're going to execute a nap to create the sound of the impact of the punch of the fist impacting the face. So, in order to do that, my partner is going to put their right hand over here by their left shoulder and their left hand down here by their waist. And as the punch comes through, they're going to do a little clap, as if I'm looking at the time. And I continue that motion. My hand comes up to my face and I rotate around my waist. So my head goes, the rest of my body follows as my hand comes up to my face. So it looks like this. Obviously we'd do that much quicker once we're actually doing the punch. So I'm sending the punch, my partner is receiving the punch, and they're showing the audience where they got hit. It's a little trick that we use. We divert the audience's attention from the hands making the nap to where the impact happened, where we want to tell that story. The story is here, the story is not here. So we draw the audience's eyes to this part. I then follow that up by making some sort of sound, that indicates I've gotten hit. And that's really all there is to it. It's not rocket science, but it does require a lot of rehearsal time in order for me and my partner to get our timing right, to make sure we feel comfortable with each other, to bring it up to a speed that is safe, but is not so fast that the audience can't see it or that me or my partner are going to lose control of the fight. One thing that I always tell my actors is that we're creating the illusion of controlled chaos. This is controlled chaos. We're controlling every moment of it so that we can repeat it night after night after night after night, and so that we're serving the story of the play and the intent of the playwright, the vision of the directors, and the objectives of the characters and the actors. So, one of the other things that we as fight directors have to consider is hiding the naps and the air from the audience. And one of the simplest techniques that we use is simply having the actor receiving the violence turn their back to the audience so they can hide the nap. We don't want to telegraph this information to the audience, so oftentimes we'll stage it in such a way so that the actor is walking into the punch, perhaps turning their back to the audience at the last possible moment. So there are a lot of little techniques that we employ when creating this, and a lot of it is trial and error. A lot of it is working the moments out in the rehearsal room with the actors, making sure that we are telling as clear and as effective a physical story as possible. Now, of course, there are other factors that come into play: the size of the theater, the type of theater that it is. For example, the Mark Taper is a semi-thrust stage, so we have to contend with those side views and hiding the naps and the air from those views. The Kirk Douglas is a proscenium stage, so we really only have to worry about one angle. So again, it all depends on the type of theater that it is. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to send us a video of you executing the punch, please do so. We'd love to share them with our audience. Stay safe out there.